I hurt myself today trying to make the pain go away. Sarah, I want to fade away, be with the stars in outer space. You come and you go, you take me high, you take me low, but I don't know how to do this on my own anymore. Oh no, now it's Molly for the melancholy. Cody, fill a hole inside me. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. Now it's Xannies till I numb my psyche. Cocaine just to feel my heartbeat. Nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Sarah, I lost myself today trying to find ways to make you stay. Sarah, I want to go away, close my eyes, never wake up again. You come and you go, you take me high, you take me low, but I don't know how to do this on my own anymore. Oh no, now it's Molly for the melancholy. Cody, fill a hole inside me. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. Now it's Xannies till I numb my psyche. Cocaine just to feel my heartbeat. Nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Sarah.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Occitanie, Betway, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, and PaySafe Card.
G2 managed to take Nuke, and I'm back in the crowd with all the fans. There are some very happy French fans I've got here. I've got Beranger next to me here, and I've got Thierry on the right-hand side of me. And I'm going to start with you, man. G2 getting this win just then. Amanek using that shotgun. He was putting the hurt on him. It's impressive stuff, but must have put a smile on your face.
It was very intense, maybe a lot of troll. It's a little bit of troll, but it was very intense. They managed to get the victory, and that's all it counts. Shotgun under shotgun, they got the victory.
And they did manage to get the victory so far. But how are you enjoying the show? The crowd here has been very impressive.
Yeah, this is very, very good experience to us, and we have a good audience, I think, and a good player. Good job, everyone. Very cool.
Now, do you think G2, they've got their first map on the board, but they've still got a way to go? Do you think they can get this second one in there?
I'm not sure I understand what you say.
Do you think G2 will take this next map and even it up?
Yeah, they're gonna win. They're gonna win.
The French crowd certainly think that G2's going to win. The question is, can they get it done? Montpellier, can you make some noise? Pretty good. Back to you, Stunner, on the desk.
Yeah, they're going to have to make some noise because it's still a deficit for G2. They do pick up the win on Nuke, and that's going to help them in the long run. But right now, we have to keep looking at the series as a whole. To do that, I'm going to have Pemp and Maniac here with me on the desk to walk us into this one, because now we might have a series on our hand.
That was much better from G2, right? They came out there being proactive. They had a good T side. Once again, they got off to a very good start, and then it seems like a trend for G2. When they do that, they don't do it all the way through. They sort of like let the foot off the gas pedal just a little bit, and that may be a little bit of a problem for them, because I think they could have closed out this Nuke much quicker. On the other side of the server, Liquid right now, that's a problem for them. Nuke is not a map they're strong on, and they are struggling a lot with it, especially Stewie 2K.
Yeah, and I hate to point fingers, especially at a long-lost child of mine, but Stewie 2K, somewhat of a non-factor here for them on Nuke. That is not what they need for them to grab this series.
And it's not the first time that Stewie is running into problems on Nuke, and you have to think there is some sort of issue in terms of like profile as a player, and then the position that he needs to play, or that the team requires him to play, and he doesn't seem like he's feeling his fit. In Dallas, that was the same. He had a really tough time on Nuke, once again here. And if you're Liquid, yes, maybe they're going to end up winning this final, and everyone's going to be happy. But this is not how you want to start building your era. You've just beaten Astralis, you got to the first place, and now G2, they're poking you, they're throwing stones at you, they are annoying you. Liquid should just destroy them.
Yeah, I mean, for Liquid, we also kind of honed in on the fact that, yes, they had a strong CT showing the other day on Nuke. Where was it, Jacob?
It was not to be found in this game, after all. I mean, G2 played a good T-side as well, and they did some good stuff. Kenny S, once again, having a great game. He was 6 for 6 in opening duels. That's a big up for him, and I think, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys out there, I think Astralis plays a little bit of a factor in this. Liquid have lost Nuke to Astralis so many times in finals that they stopped playing it, they stopped practicing it. You even heard Stu 2K say it, and he was a guy playing for Cloud9, he was playing for MIBR, two teams who didn't really play Nuke at all. He comes into Liquid, who stopped playing Nuke because they could not beat Astralis on it. So it's sort of like a sleeper map right now for Liquid. That's a problem when you consider, that they're gonna face better teams, or at least more teams who can play Nuke coming up in Cologne and all the other tournaments.
Yeah, there's gonna be a plethora of other tournaments here, but right now the full focus for Liquid is going to be grabbing another notch of the Intel Grand Slam, or even hoisting that trophy, the coveted ESL Pro League trophy. Now, meanwhile, we're able to break things down just a little bit more here, so sit back and tune in and get your pencils out, get ready to take some notes, because Chatty B is over on the Weatherman station.
The Dusk was just touching on Stewie and his woes. Now I want to set an example of where he dropped the ball. The score is 4-4. You can see it up the top here. And you can see over here that it is an eco/pistol upgrade round coming in from the G2 team. Double orbs have come out, and the side of Liquid are starting to establish their economy. So let's start playing this one out. You can see they're just going to go towards ramp. Stewie's dropped a Molotov, but guess what? G2 do not respect it. They're able to put a lot of pressure on him, and he has to fall. This is a pressure position. He's going to get taken on down, and now G2 are able to get into the lower bomb site. But what's more important here is the weapon that they've just dropped. Guess what? The AWP, whose hands does it end up in? Mr. Kenny S has the orb right here, and you can see he's not getting a lot done, but the pistols are already in the window side, able to close down some duels and get some kills on the board for G2. Now that Kenny gets left in a 2-on-2 situation, Amanek's going to fall any minute, and now it's the classic Kenny about to come out and shine and put up a big round right here that swayed the game and gave G2 a chance to build a very big T-sided platform, winning that clutch. I have a bonus for you. Now, the deja vu, we are in France. Do you remember Dallas? This was from Dallas against Ents. Jax did that here. It didn't really matter. The scoreline was 15-3. But he did it again in this tournament. Now, to put it in the context of this situation, it's 10-10. They're on a low buy. Once again, Liquid starting to build an economy. You can see on that side they have better weaponry compared to the G2. This is a chance for Liquid to mount yet another comeback. But Jax stepping up with this shotgun in similar fashion to Dallas, kills 3 players and shuts down yet another attack and stopping this Liquid roster from having any chance on Nuke. That was it, Trace.
Yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums it up pretty well. Thank you very much, Chad. And, of course, for us, we need to really lock down what is Nuke here. Obviously, the woeful part is that Liquid take an L on the map, still ahead in the series, still within the confines of winning the entire thing. But overall, guys, where do we sit at the conclusion of Nuke?
I think the main takeaway for me is G2's attitude and mental resilience, right? Because after losing the 2 first map, you could have expected them to just roll over, and that would be a 3-0. And instead, G2 fights back. They actually, they win Nuke. If you think about just Kenny S, on Overpass, he had, I believe, what is the worst rating of his career, 0.29.
Ouch.
He's bouncing back to 121, and the Kenny S that I used to play with, he used to be very emotional. He used to, get carried away when he had a bad performance. Now he bounces back on the stage in the grand final. So that's what I want to see. Mental.
I think it's a big mental. I think it's a big theme for G2. The maturity coming into this lineup. You bring in some new players who don't necessarily have a lot of experience as players on big stages, but they're pretty pretty old to be quite honest. So they have that life experience, they have that maturity, and I think that's a good asset to have when you're in a final and when you have the pressure on you. I definitely agree with you. Kenny S back in the days, he was very emotional. You could almost see him, get out of it or lose his mind when he was doing something he shouldn't be doing. But today he showed resilience, and that bounds for a good Inferno game right here. I think G2 still have a little fight left in them.
Yeah, and hopefully so. I mean, we could go all the way, or you could just go open another browser right now. Head over to double T, not triple, don't do that. Twitter.com/ESLCS. Go ahead and get that vote in, or get ready to get the vote in, rather, for the Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel Power Play. That will be coming at the conclusion of the series, because in the meantime, we need to go to a quick break. Players get some food, and then we're going to be jumping right back into this best of 5. We got Inferno on the cards. There's no better place to be than here and now. The ESL Pro League Season 9 Finals.
Take a dive before you cry, y'all. It's the only way to live. You can't be without it, baby. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Just try before you sign off. She could kill the sick. Real stuff. It's the only way to live. Fancy cars and the smiles of the ocean. Purple sky, let that night come with peace. Anywhere you wanna be. Anywhere you wanna be. Yeah. Hold up your standard. They ain't count on it. They ain't count on it. They ain't count on it. Show what you gon' do. They don't want on it. They don't want on it. They don't want on it. Pick up, I know to be right on. Yeah. 'Cause no one really cares. Don't look back or keep your eyes on. Long ago, long ago. Doesn't matter what it gon' cost. Never gave a shit. Real soul. Let it take a hit. Hey. Who's getting high on emotion? Look around. People fight all their life for some peace. Yeah. Look around. Fancy cars and the smiles of the ocean. Purple sky, let that night come with peace.
So when you think of G2, I think they have a lot of strong assets. In the beginning, when they started picking up Jackson and Lucky, but also Amanek, I think everyone started thinking, why are they relying on 3 new people? But I actually think it's given them some new breathing room and some new blood into the team, and I think it has definitely helped Kenny S and Shox to get back on their level. So I think they have a really good, strong asset in terms of new blood, but also a lot of experience, and I think they are a really great team, and they have definitely proven, and they deserve to be here. I don't think it's a surprise that Liquid has made it this far. Liquid is the best team in the world as of right now. They've knocked us off the throne, which is of course disappointing, but at the same time they have definitely deserved it. I think Team Liquid is a really great team in terms of how they work as a team, but also they have some really strong individual players, so they have a really good mix of being good individuals, but also having a good teamwork, and I think that is the main key to be the best team in the world.
Welcome back, Montpellier. It's almost time to jump into that fourth map of Inferno. Right now, we do have a bout on our hands that consists of baguettes and cheeseburgers. That's right, North America taking on G2 as a whole. G2 having won the map of Nuke, certainly keeping themselves here in the contest. My name being Trey Saranthus. Alongside of me will be that Pimp and Maniac over here on the desk, and we're going to take you right down into Inferno Town.
Inferno Town. I like the sound of that, right?
It's kind of got a little ring to it.
It like could be like in a blues song or maybe a country song, like Inferno Town. Could work, right?
Wow, now that was that was pretty good. And honestly, I would have thought you were from Nashville almost at that. Anyway, here's some stats looking ahead of Inferno. This is what we're looking at. Jacob, start to walk us through it.
Yeah, it's going to be rough for G2. There's no doubt about that. Coming into Inferno, Team Liquid are the heavy favorites. I will say, though, that what we just saw on Nuke, that's a good sign for G2. We saw Kenny S wake up. We saw the team perform as a team, and I think that's going to be very important here in Inferno. Just to put it in context, the past 4 times G2 have played Inferno, they only managed to win once time, and that's against Cloud9, so that doesn't really say anything. Whereas for Liquid, we did see them manhandle Astralis yesterday, or the day before that, in the quarterfinals. So Liquid have a good feel for Inferno right now, whereas I would say G2, it's sort of like a map in the middle of the pack for them, so that is a problem for them. I will say, though, if Kenny S can step it up, there is a chance.
Yeah, I agree with this. I was just thinking about how, in my mind, Liquid have the best Inferno player in the world right now, which is Twist. I think no one can hold that A side. Yeah, the A side covered by Twist is absolutely insane. Obviously, he's the highest rated on the side of Liquid on that map. Now, if you just look at the results, as Jacob was saying, this is not looking good for G2, but it doesn't matter. It's a grand final. Everything is reset. G2, they must feel like, okay, now we've come into the play. Liquid maybe doubting a little bit, maybe irritated. You gotta hope so if you're the French fan. So, you know what? Stats are up in the air. Everything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that this does kind of level the slate. You're exactly right. Now's the time to turn up if you're G2, and now's the time to close the door on the possibility for G2 to get back into it if you are Team Liquid. What we're going to do right now is start to head down to the weatherman himself, because he's prepared a little something for us to look at ahead of Inferno. It's Chatty B.
If you've ever heard us talk about Inferno, all we do is talk about Banana, so we're going to do that again, a nice quick one here. Now, Shox and Lucky have the duties of holding this B bomb site. They play it in limbo. They give up Banana, they play towards the mouth. If you saw what Hellraisers did, similar scenes, but early they put a lot of pressure on the defaulting of Elige and Stewie. They're actually able to stop them and push them away and force them to go to more A-based strategy. So I think still in this one, the guys from Liquid have the advantage with the Banana take versus the style that G2 throw at them. One last thing, though, that the side of Liquid do not have is Kenny S. Kenny S can be arch side, he can be in halls aggressive, he can be picking mid, he can be top of Banana, he can be pushing down. He does that all over the map. He's unpredictable, and if he's still on point right now, there is a chance for this roster of G2 to take us all the way, but it's not looking good.
It's not looking the best right now, but it's got to be a look that they have to have. I mean, this is something where backs against the wall, G2 need to come out shining right here.
Yeah, definitely. I really think Kenny S is the win condition here. Shox so far in this series haven't really been that impactful. He's having a decent game, but not to the Shox level we've seen before. Whereas for Kenny S, Chad is absolutely right when he's saying he's all over the map. He's very versatile. He's sometimes aggressive, sometimes passive. And when you have a guy like him on the team, it is tough to counter him. You never know where he places on the map. So I hope for G2's sake that they've done the preparation. I hope Malik have prepped the guys ordinary. We haven't seen Liquid play against Hellraisers where they did struggle a lot with that Banana control. So hopefully, Maniac, I hope they're going to be more aggressive towards Banana.
Yeah, and I mean, Maniac, I know it's hard to go against your friends and whatnot here, but I understand that Stewie has had a slow map over on Nuke. How influential is he going to have to be here on Inferno?
Well, I mean, I think I'm taking no risk saying it's going to be better than Nuke, right? But Inferno is not really a map where Stewie is shining, but I think what is scary when you're G2 right now is that the whole Liquid just seemed like an oiled machine on Inferno. I think they have a very good grasp on how to play each area of the map, would it be on the offense or on the defense. And we talk about Kenny S, and the problem is he's at the bottom of the stats when it comes to Inferno. Inferno is a closed map, mostly on the T side. Where do you make the difference with the AWP? He used to be able to do that, for example, facing Arch or middle, but I think people know that now. They expect Kenny S to do it. So, I mean, Kenny would have to overperform. But then again, if you want to be the greatest of all time, you have to do it when it matters most.
Yeah, simple as it is. If you want to win a grand final, you have to be the best. And I think Kenny has had the skill set to be that. I agree with you. Inferno is not notoriously known for being an op map, but we've seen Fallen make it very good before. So I believe Kenny S has what it takes, but let's see if he can do a trace.
Yes, that's what the eyes of the world are watching. Right here upon the city of Montpellier, right along the Mediterranean. It's going to be G2 and Liquid going into this fourth map of Inferno. G2 starting on the T side, and will Liquid... They just need to close it out here. To do it, though, we've got the best commentators, or at least some of them in the business. We've got Anders and Moses, and they're ready to get it hot and heavy.
Thank you very much, Treasure.